I found footprints in fresh snow leading from an empty car straight to my unlocked motel room door. And when I finally saw who'd been inside, it was the stranger from the diner I'd never given my real name to. If stories like this keep you up at night, hit subscribe, because I don't trust strangers the same way anymore. I'm 28, and my husband Todd lives in a different state from me. We take turns visiting, though I usually end up going to him more often since he has his own place, and I'm still splitting a place with my sister. I was heading up for a week over winter break, teacher schedule perks, driving my sister's old, not exactly built for snow sedan, since the roads got progressively worse the further north I went. Blizzard warnings had gone out earlier that day, but Todd and I agreed it made more sense to push through that evening rather than wait for roads buried in snow the next day. As the night wore on and the snow started coming down hard, I accepted I'd need to stop somewhere rather than risk the rest of the drive. I pulled off for a quick sandwich and coffee at a small diner. The waitress, chatting with me while I ate, told me flatly there was no way I should be back on the roads that night, and rattled off a few nearby hotels and motels. After she walked away, a man at the bar spun his stool around and mentioned a motel just up the road, 5 minutes according to my phone, cheap and decent enough for a quick night before getting back on the road. He'd clearly overheard my whole conversation with the waitress. He'd been sitting there the entire time with a mug of coffee in front of him. I remember thinking it was a little odd to just sit at a bar counter without ordering food, but people up that way always struck me as a bit different from what I was used to growing up in the city. He introduced himself as Toby. I gave him a fake name, Michelle. For the rest of my time there, he stayed half-turned toward me on his stool, and I mostly kept my attention out the window at the snow until my check came. Said goodbye to both of them on my way out. In that half hour, the snow had piled up another inch. I needed to get to that motel fast. Drove slow, made it in maybe 10 minutes. A couple cars in the lot. Looked cheap enough, which was all I needed. Paid around $50 at the front desk, got a key to a downstairs room. Went back out to grab my bags, brought them in. Tiny room, tacky wallpaper, queen bed, red carpet, fine for one night. Tried to FaceTime Todd, no signal at all. The motel had Wi-Fi, password presumably at the front desk, so I threw my shoes back on and hurried through the snow to go get it. On the way, I noticed a new car in the lot that hadn't been there before, someone sitting inside it. Didn't think much of it, didn't really look closely. Who does, realistically? Front desk clerk pointed wordlessly at the Wi-Fi sign. I typed in the password, took a minute to connect, and I hurried back to my room, locked the door, and got Todd back up on FaceTime. Even with the Wi-Fi, the connection was terrible, his face freezing every few seconds, audio cutting constantly, enough to tell him I'd made it safely into the motel. We switched to texting instead. A few minutes into texting, I heard something from the bathroom. Looked up, saw the door was shut. Had it been shut before? I honestly couldn't remember. I told Todd, and started spiraling a little, realizing I'd rushed to the front desk earlier without locking the room door behind me. He asked if the door locked automatically. I didn't think so, but now I wasn't even sure if I'd left it cracked open in the first place. He told me to get up, check the lock, bring the key with me just in case. I put my shoes on, went to check, old-style twist lock, worked from the knob inside or a key outside. I opened the door to confirm it and immediately saw an extra set of footprints in the fresh snow, leading straight from that car I'd noticed earlier to my door. The car itself was empty now. I wanted to scream. Instead, I shut the door and ran straight to the front desk, telling the clerk through tears that someone was in my room. He wasn't exactly built for confrontation, told me to wait, made a call. I assumed a police, but he started speaking in a different language instead, clearly to some friend or associate. Hung up, told me to just sit tight with him. From where I stood, I had a clear view down toward my room through the glass. I let out a shriek when the door opened and Toby stepped out, walking to his car. We locked eyes for a second before he got in and backed out onto the unplowed road, disappearing slowly. The clerk's associate arrived a while later, a big guy, no English. Whatever they discussed between themselves, the clerk offered me a different room, free of charge, to try to make me feel better. It didn't, honestly, but I didn't have many options left. The two of them helped move my things to the new room. Todd offered to drive up immediately. I told him not to, too dangerous in the dark and snow. The next morning, the roads were plowed enough to finish the drive to his place. Looking back, I don't like that the motel worker likely never called the actual police, probably worried about the attention it would bring to the place. I called the diner afterward to warn them about Toby. I don't extend trust to strangers the way I used to, not after that. What that night taught me, more than the fear itself, is how much a single overheard detail, a name, a plan, a destination, can be turned into something dangerous by the wrong person, and how important it is to stay guarded even in moments that feel completely ordinary. A friendly stranger's advice isn't always just advice. If you've ever had a stranger's kindness turn out to be something else entirely, I'd genuinely love to hear about it. Drop your story in the comments, because some of the best ones I cover started exactly this way.